What is a man? An adult human male with an X and Y chromosome? A non-existent audience, it's Skwatter back with another ramble for the game he's been playing. Alrighty, so, well, this is, I believe, Castlevania, Akumajo, Dracula X, Chi no Rondo, or Rondo of Blood, I guess. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. For the longest time, I thought that, and I never even looked it up, so I don't even know how this got into my head. But I thought that Rondo was a Japanese word meaning circle. And I was wrong. I was completely wrong. In fact, I just earlier looked it up on my translation app, and it was a completely different term, which escapes me at the moment. You know, just as I said, all its warts, right? Yeah. So I actually started playing a little bit of this game before I actually started doing the playthrough, so I had to delete the older save file just to start fresh. And I was trying to see, you know, if I could see myself lasting through the thing, you know, which I, for the most part, for lack of the remaining 4%, actually did. I decided at the nearing to the end of the game, going back and replaying it over and over and over again, which I didn't even want to do, to be honest. I thought that it was a giant waste of time, and I thought that the first time I had beaten Dracula would have been the end all be all, you know, but at the time I thought, here I am. I've got nothing else better to do, so I might as well just last through it, see how far I can get. Again, I don't really like looking up all these uh, heavily criteria-laden walkthroughs. God, I'm never going to get better from this cold. But, I don't like looking at walkthroughs that are like 350 kilobytes in size because, well, it's just kilobytes. Hell, that could be like hundreds of pages worth of content, right? And, you know, there's actually several different exits in each level in this game. I wasn't familiar that there were like these apostrophe levels, sort of like the Street Fighter 2 apostrophe Champion Edition. So maybe that's why they were doing that, to pay homage to that game. This is 1993, so I would expect that game to have been released at the time, that being Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. So this right here, I just decided to, okay, there you go. I can jump up here and I can break these blocks. I didn't even really want to go this way, but I just said, okay, well, you know, here we are, all its warts. Let's go where the game takes me. You know, this is going to be my playthrough, right? Because normally when I just kind of mess around and waste time with this game, I would end up just going the overworld route, and I would end up beating the dragon the first time. And but this time, you know, you fight the little shop of horrors, and then there's the statue that points in a different direction there. And yeah, then and I tried to get up there, but I couldn't figure it out. See, I started going through the door, but then I rewound it, and yeah, no, I don't know how you get in there. Maybe that's one of the percentage points there, huh? So then you're down here in this water well thing, and let me tell you, man, I gotta stop playing these platformer games. Which, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard with my obsession because, like, the only reason I decided to play this game, because I actually wanted to play Neotopia, the two Neotopias, that is, on the TurboGrafx, because I kind of wanted to get back into the more sort of adventure style games and less platforming, right? Even though there are elements of platforming in games like Neotopia, Crusader of Senti, Legend of Zelda, when it was still the top-down sort of perspective. But I thought, you know, everybody speaks so highly of this game. I thought, you know, I had messed around with it a bunch. I had gotten past maybe one or two levels and then lost interest in it over the years, and I thought that I might as well see what it's all about. and so I gave it my all, and well, not really my all, more than just what I was willing to tolerate of it. Uh, in this sort of montage of clips, I've decided, since the entire clip, with both the first playthrough and the addendum, it's almost 4 hours long. Uh, I decided to chop the video up into segments of 15 and delete every second segment of 15 minutes, just to make it, reasonable in terms of length, for me to just yap on and on about whatever. Because I was going through my rambles last night, that being the evening of September 10th, just before the first Castlevania video was uploaded. God bless the victims and survivors of September 11th, 2001. God bless their loved ones and friends and family members and everything. Never forget that. Always strive to be a good person. I know I always fall short of that, but it's every time an anniversary like this comes around, it just kind of gives you a little push that should send you in the right direction, even if it's just a little bit, right? But so yeah, God bless them all. God bless the West and everything, because we're kind of under attack. But whatever, we'll suppose we'll get back to what we're doing here. So yeah, the reason why I was saying that, about like why I chose this game necessarily, is because, as I said, everybody seemed to like it. It's basically the most popular and most highly rated game on the system, and I decided, sure, try it out and everything. But then I remembered, because of my obsessive nature and everything, I realized that there is a game for the Super Nintendo that's sort of like this. It's like Castlevania Dracula X, however you want to say it in which language, but and I'm not entirely sure, but I think that there might be another game, like some kind of a uh, different port, like a Master Quest version of it, called like the other Super Nintendo version is called Dracula X, but then this other possible version that could exist, and I'm not even sure if that's the case, but mm, it's called Dracula XX, right? Because I've checked through my ROM folders and I see Dracula X for Super Nintendo and also Dracula XX, and I think, is this like a deluxe version or something? But later on, I tried looking it up, and I did not find, as far as I could tell, I did not find existence of this XX version. Or am I even remembering this right? Maybe I'm thinking of Guilty Gear X and XX on the Dreamcast. Oh God, I don't even know honestly, but yeah, all I know is that there is a version of this game for the Super Nintendo that's slightly different, sort of like the East games, right? Like there's East Dawn of East for TurboGrafx CD, and then there's East Mask of the Sun for Super Nintendo, and I played through both of those, so might as well, while I'm in the not so accommodating mood, I might as well start playing that. I've been kind of scourging across the TurboGrafx CD game library. So, and I think I've only played a single game for the Super Nintendo on this channel, which is that Ys for Mask of the Sun. Oh, no, no. I played Ys 5, Sand City of Caffeine, or whatever they choose to call it. So that's something to do. Little bit of a departure, even if it is a lot of the same game, maybe the same properties and assets of the other one. But I feel like an emptiness if I wouldn't do it. Like that's why I played both of the Ys games on both consoles, because while there have been other ports of like Ys Book 1 and 2 and Ys 3, they are essentially the same game, just with slightly different colors and assets and stuff like that. It's not like a slightly reimagined version like the like Mask of the Sun would be. So yeah, yeah, probably the next one the non-existent audience will see is a playthrough of the Super Nintendo version. That is, if I can find cheats for it that will make it bearable. I'm glad that I had both infinite health, infinite ammo for the special weapons, and I'm also glad that I had invincibility, which basically allowed me to walk through the later playthroughs of the levels unhindered, because the fact that you get knocked back when you get struck with enemy weapons or you run into an enemy, God, that is just maddening. Like, whiten the knuckle, honestly. I can't stand it. It's such a bad trope. But they do it to make the game artificially difficult. So that's just the nature of the territory. So what else can you do? Um, uh, I'm watching Cyberlink Power Director's preview of what I'm commenting on, and it seems that I have paused my gameplay right now. There I go. Okay, yeah. Was probably needing to check a walkthrough. But yeah, no, it's got neat graphics and everything. It's got some cool pseudo 3D effects, some good, I would say, what it looks like scaling and rotation effects, which are neat and everything. I would say that there's a lack of diversity among the enemies. Way too many skeleton creatures, like whether they're just skeletons as you see here, or they have some color of armor and then they have palette swaps of them. Then there are the fish people and the frogs and the little jumping guys, as you can see here. And I have no idea what this does. Is it supposed to like slow time down? It looks like a pocket watch. Uh, I think I decide to not go through here. Oh no, this is the playthrough in which I do decide to go take the lower level. So it seems that some of the levels have different exits, which was, I guess, sort of commonplace back in the day. But to me, I just think it adds. You should be able to see all of this in one playthrough, honestly, like, because playing it through again and again, defeating the same bosses over and over again, which I did, like, which is why I decided to stop playing for the first section of the playthrough, the 3 hour and the 3.5 hour version, because like I was just like, oh God, again, 88%. Oh, I can't take it anymore, man. Like I got sick and tired of fighting the same old bosses and everything. Like when I could, I would use the fast forward mechanism uh, to get through the frames of animation when they were changing or summoning a new creature, like when you're fighting that sorcerer guy. And I'll tell you, it's completely unfair. The one of the bosses, he's in the ocean-going ship, and it's basically like a portrait that comes to life and starts flailing itself at you, and if you get caught within it, you become part of the picture, and you basically get strapped to a table, and God knows what happens to you, getting cut in half and stuff like that. And that's an insta kill. So like whether you have infinite energy or infinite health or both of them, both of the cheats activated, uh, you're you're fucked, right? And that was bullshit. Honestly, I hate insta death kills like that. So I used rewind a lot. Rewind for the win. Thank God for that. Funny, I should be saying that fighting the devil in this game. But yeah, even something like this. Like again, what does that do? What does that do? Like it makes like a glissandro or whatever, like the, and then it just makes those weird symbols come on the screen, and like what does that do? Honestly, like I'm sure like I can easily check out the instruction manual is probably in Japanese. I probably have to look up a walkthrough for it, which Honestly, I've already given the game 4 hours of my time, so there it goes again. The same Cassandra. Yeah. Then this is the next clip there. But yeah, no. So I'm not necessarily willing to give it the time of day. Honestly, it's not a bad game, honestly, but it's like I was playing this game and I'm like, just like with every other platforming game, I think. Pardon me. Like how can people play these games and like it's certainly satisfying to beat them because they're such a white in the knuckle teeth gritting to the point of shattering your enamel challenge, you know. But like I can't see, and this is just my my own personal incredulity going off of my own personality and tolerance and patience and things like that. But it's like I cannot imagine anybody like lasting through a lot of these games, like Dynastic Hero with that platforming, or Prince of Persia with its platforming, and like Shapeshifter. God, awful, awful fucking game. Like especially with those fans, right? It's like how how can you last through that? Like how many people have actually beaten this game? And I'm sure that you could go to like howlongtobeat.com and stuff like that. But like I'd like those people to be named, and to, give them respect and everything because they've got great skill, right? But like man, like this is why I use cheats, man. Like it's not fun for me. Like when I would see myself without cheats, dying over and over and over again, getting sent back to the level, getting a game over, not being able to reload a save file, right? It's like I I like I want to play games, right? But I cannot play games well uh and easily beat them without cheats, right? So it's like yeah, no, and as I said, it's like I didn't use any cheats on it came from the desert, which let me tell you, at full speed, those shooting levels, those top-down shooting levels where you're blasting the ants, uh, defending your friends from being eaten, those are white in the knuckle angering, right? So I cannot, I could not beat that game without, at very least, the rewind, the slow motion, and the save state features. Yeah, so I gotta let you know, I'm not fans. As I've said, I'm not a fan of platforming. Oh, that's right. And every single time I beat a level, I had to. It even says in the cheat codes. Yeah, get a load of this. Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. Oh, but I had to disable the infinite health and the infinite ammo cheats because it would drain them, and while it's tallying up your score. So and I'm not sure if I've said this in previous rambles, but I use a Cytec P2900 controller, which is not very intuitive, honestly. It's very, very old. I got it used off of eBay, and it's the only reason why I got it is because it's got a six-button face pad, even though in RetroArch, by default, the fifth and the sixth button, as what could logically be used to describe them as, are recognized as the start and select button. So I've always really felt kind of uh, constrained by how confounding RetroArch's controller configuration utility is. And the thing why I bought the Cytec, because they don't make it anymore. Like Cytec usually only makes airplane simulator controllers, like throttles, joysticks, different consoles, that sort of thing. Uh, so all of these are old. They are completely, well, not even superseded, but they are abandoned hardware. But the reason why I got it is because that six-button facepad is great for Sega Genesis games. It is also good for Nintendo 64 games, because the first two buttons can be used as A and B, and the other four face pad buttons can be used as actual C buttons, because if you have something like what's laid out, sort of like a PS2 controller, I guess, like the Logitech F710 or whatever they're called. Um, Pretty much what any run-of-the-mill joystick is set up as, right? You have either the D-pad on the very far left, or just below where the left thumbstick would be, or you have the left thumbstick on the very far left, and the right is always on the right. But if you have a controller like that, then you would have to map the C buttons if you want them to be somewhat ergonomic to the right C stick, which, I mean, it's functional, I guess, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of like intuitive sense, because those C buttons are, well, buttons, right? So they are treated as buttons and not as a stick with degrees of movement, like an analog stick, right? So like I frequently found myself, like, if I'm trying to do left, right, or down, like if I'm playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and beforehand, when I had the C buttons mapped to the right joystick, I would find, like, if I flicked it slightly in a different direction other than perfectly left, right, up, or down, then I would end up activating the wrong C assigned weapon or item. So, and that sort of thing really gets to me. It's my obsessive nature, right? So, I guess, and this Cytec controller, like, I've got two new Cytec controllers, P2900s wireless, that I also bought off eBay, but they were new in the box, so, and they only take one battery. But I am continuously using this old, used, beat up one, because my own obsessive nature makes me want to get as much use out of the money that I've spent as possible, even if it ends up ruining the gameplay experience because of dropped inputs, because of me having to reconnect the receiver or move the receiver. I've actually got the receiver on a super long 10-foot USB cord that I have connected to a USB hub, so I have it extending across the floor in my apartment living room. So basically, the 2.4 gigahertz receiver is not connected to the computer per se. It is connected through a USB 3.0 hub, which is then connected to the receiver by a 10-foot long USB cable, as I said, which is then through connected there a 4-port USB hub. So, and I have my my headset that I'm speaking through now, my keyboard connected to it, my wired keyboard, because I just find it way better than any kind of wireless keyboard. I've got like several different brands and everything. They're not all like Logitech brand and stuff like that, but still you'd expect that wireless keyboard technology is, should be perfected at this point, right? But unfortunately not. So I have a wired keyboard connected there, because it just seems that ever since I got a new computer, this is back in November 2020, so not necessarily new, but when I got a new computer and it's got a USB 3.0 ports, it just seems that any and all 2.4 gigahertz technology, whether it's mice, keyboards, controllers, don't seem to work as well as they used to. And that's simply what I have to deal with until I get my 16-button wired controllers from Amazon Japan. I think they're from Sanwa. Yeah, those are going to be cool, because then I can map like save states and fast forward and stuff to them without needing to use the FPS button on the Cytec controller as a toggle, which is another good one, because the FPS button can be used as a start button with N64 games. But Here we go. That's it. I give up no more. It's the end of the video. And Skwatter is out from his ramble. Peace, everyone.